that it could be Adam Harvey, who is an ex-boyfriend of Houck, and there was a restraining order against Harvey because he had threatened to kill her and her family. So you never know. I mean, it could have been. We weren't there, right? We weren't there. And the only real proof they have is the gun. It doesn't say anything about having gun residue, powder residue on his hands. It doesn't say anything about that. It's interesting. It's one of those cases where you have a certain thing in your mind of what happened or what could have happened. But when you go back and read the court documents and you go back and you look at the evidence that they had, there was reasonable doubt. There is, I feel like I would have had reasonable doubt. Because he really did not grow up in this household where we typically see, the outcomes of those experiences being violent behaviors. I think this was if he did it, it was an isolated event in an immature mind, not realizing what those consequences were. Again, perhaps if he played video games, he was influenced by some of those where you just kill people and you get so accustomed to it that it's not shocking to you. So you can kill people. There's been tons of research on this. It dims your it's not as unreal as it should be. And you don't really, if you do kill somebody, for example, if that's the case with Jordan, he would kill his stepmother but not realize that she was dead. Because in your games, you just turn it off, turn it back on, or restart the game and that person's back. But in real life, it doesn't work that way, right? You kill somebody, they're dead. And he may not have made that connection, even at 11 years old. We would have to know his maturity level, his emotional intelligence level, his understanding, how he was. Was he a good student? Was he popular? All those things. I would want to know and need to know before I made a definitive comment on it. So, Jordan, interesting guy. Not a serial killer, but one that gives me pause, one that helps me to understand a different side of juveniles acting out violently. Totally different than any of the others that we will talk about. All right, so thanks for listening to this. I hope you've learned something new. I certainly do. Every time I start researching, it makes me think of things that I haven't thought about before. So I'm constantly learning. You have to go through your life and constantly learn. There's your little bit of advice for the day. If you stop learning, you stop living. So I always have something going. And I find that for me right now, this podcast and researching these things has really helped me understand early childhood development and trauma, all of those things. It's really helped me to have a deep understanding of that. So I hope that, if you listen to the podcast, perhaps you've become a bit of an expert on it as well. All right. I hope to hear from you if you have questions or thoughts. As always, you can email me at drkimberlycassidy89@gmail.com or go to the Facebook page, Composition of a Killer, and you can post on the Facebook page, or, you can go to the website, which is compositionofakiller.com. And you can send messages through that as well. So there's several different ways to get a hold of me. The next few podcasts will be concerning these juvenile offenders, because we got through 3 of them today, and the last one, of course, we got through 4 of them. Jordan because it's a very short story. So in the future, probably 3, I'll probably be able to get through 3. So I'll probably have 4 or 5 podcasts just on these juvenile offenders. So tune back in for those. All right. As always, be safe out there and don't be a hitchhiker and don't pick up hitchhikers. Have a great one.